Sí, sí.
Recording now. Vamos a grabar. Y muy buenos días. ¿Cómo están todos?
Buenos
Bien.
Muy
días.
bien. Buenos
Bastante
días.
bien, sí, bastante bien, pretty good, bastante bien, sí. Es la primera clase de la primavera y hoy vamos a practicar con cosas fáciles. Today we're going to practice with some easy stuff because first session, we always have some new folks, some veterans returning. So we're going to do some easy things and some things that'll get you into feeling that you can practice in smaller groups with each other, as well as practicing with the whole group. Pardon. So today we're going to start with a little, a clip, not the whole thing, but a clip of a fun little quiz in Spanish. And then we're going to move on to a short video that gives us a couple of cues about, again, talking about our opinion. And then you're going to get a chance to practice in some smaller groups. And for those of you who are new, we go out into breakout room sessions for part of our class so that people can practice in a group of 2 or 3 people and do it in a smaller group setting. And then when we come back, any questions you had from that experience or any difficulties you had, you come back and you get a chance to kind of recap, ask your questions. You get to, you're particularly proud of an answer, go ahead and kind of flaunt that for the group, bring it up for the benefit of the group. So those are things we're going to do today. I am hoping we're going to get into an issue of some opposites. I want to work on some things like these itty bitty words, these kind of preposition words this session that show us things about location, for example, and little prepositions like on, en, and they, and all of those, because those are always, even though they're itty bitty words, things that help us to get phrases right and to make it easier for other people to understand what we're talking about. So, vale, bueno, vamos a empezar. We're going to start with, maybe just a 5-minute, 3 to 5 minute snippet of a little quiz. And I'm starting in the middle. I want you to notice something. I want you to notice el título del video es Adivina el país por su monumento. Guess the country by means of its monument. Adivina el país por sus lugares turísticos. Guess the country according to its tourist places. And I want you to notice, normally when we talk about location, the golden verb is for location, to ask about where
Star.
stuff is.
Star.
Es estar, sí, es estar. Estar is usually the verb you expect to hear when we talk about where something is. Yeah, Spanish has got that odd thing of estar for location and ser to talk about characteristics. And so when we talk about, where is this? Where is that? You always think you're going to hear estar, but you may not always hear estar. You may hear an alternative. So I want you to notice the alternatives they use for estar. And why do they do that? To mix it up, to not repeat the same word all the time. And it's good to know some of these alternatives for estar, so that when you speak with people and they come back at you with one of those alternatives, you're not like all puzzled, or wildly stumped by them using an alternative word. Okay, vale. Y hola, Julie. Bien. Muy bien. So we're going to take these are most of these are very easy, son muy fáciles, pero vamos a escuchar. So this will get you to wind up your listening a little bit with some super easy sentences. And notice those alternatives for estar. A ver, momentito. ¿Pueden ver la pantalla? Can you see our little screen with our...
Yeah.
¿Sí?
No.
¿No? Mm.
Yes.
Ana, B.
Momentito, let's try that one more time. Una vez más. Una vez más. Okay, ahorita. Now, see? And we're going to see one of our alternatives here. And the alternative is that little two-word chunk, se encuentra. Se encuentra. That's in this one. That is our alternative for estar. So just keep that in mind.
How do I spell that?
¿En qué país se encuentra la Gran Muralla? What country do you find the Great Wall in? And we've got Japón, China, Corea del
China.
Sur, India. Bien.
La respuesta correcta es la opción B, China.
Venecia,
¿En qué
la
país se
Gran
encuentra el
Muralla.
mausoleo del Taj Mahal? ¿India, Pakistán, Bangladesh o Nepal?
Se encuentra.
India.
India. I can't hear her. Can you?
La respuesta correcta es la opción A.
Ah,
And
¿pueden oír? Can you hear it? ¿Sí?
yes.
Sí, bien. Ok, vale.
India. ¿En qué país se
India.
encuentra la famosa ciudad sagrada llamada Machu Picchu? ¿Chile, India, Perú o Colombia?
Peru.
Peru.
La respuesta correcta es la opción C, Perú. ¿En qué país se encuentra el Big Ben? ¿Francia, Italia,
fácil.
Alemania o Reino Unido?
Y fíjense, Reino Unido no es Inglaterra, ¿sí? Reino Unido es
Big Ben.
United Kingdom, right? Our word rey means king. Reino es kingdom, ¿sí? Reina es queen, pero reino es kingdom.
B.
La respuesta correcta es la opción
Reino
Reino
Unido.
Unido.
D.
¿En qué país se encuentra el Hotel Burj Al Arab? ¿Emiratos Árabes Unidos, Arabia Saudita, Qatar o Bahrein?
Más difícil, harder.
B. Vera.
La respuesta correcta es la opción A,
Yes.
Emiratos Árabes Unidos.
Mirages.
¿En qué país se encuentra la Torre de Pisa?
Oh, there's
famosa por
leading to
estar
a piece that you need to tell you.
¿España, Italia, Francia o Grecia?
Francia.
Italia, Michael. Italia.
Oh, Italia.
La respuesta correcta es la opción B, Italia.
Sí, y según el periódico, hay una segunda torre en Italia que también está inclinada. Hay una segunda torre que está en Italia que también está inclinada y tienen que arreglarla un poquito. They have to fix it a little bit. So notice we've had a lot of se encuentras. ¿Dónde? Let's notice another alternative. It's not just está, it's está situada. I'm going to see if I can catch this right on the cusp.
La
I am.
respuesta correcta es la opción C, Turquía. ¿En qué país está situada la Puerta de Brandeburgo?
¿En qué país está situada? Está situada como se encuentra.
Yes. Water.
La Puerta de Brandeburgo.
¿Francia, Alemania, Italia o España? La respuesta correcta es la opción B,
Alemania.
Alemania.
Bien.
¿En
Where's
qué país se
Alemania?
encuentra la Acrópolis de Atenas? Egipto,
That's
México,
Greece.
Turquía o Grecia.
Yeah. D.
Mexico.
La respuesta correcta es la opción D.
Mexico.
Grecia.
¿En qué país está el monumento Sagrada Familia?
Y aquí tenemos solamente está. Now here we're back to our original verb that everybody knows and feels comfortable with. ¿En qué país está el monumento Sagrada Familia?
¿Portugal, España,
España.
Francia o Suiza?
España.
Sí, Francia.
La respuesta correcta es la opción B, España. ¿En qué país se encuentra la roca Uluru, considerada como el segundo monolito más grande del mundo? ¿Estados Unidos, Canadá, Sudáfrica o Australia?
Wow.
Australia.
Uluru.
Australia.
Australia.
La
Mas
respuesta correcta es la opción D,
Australia.
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 ¿En qué país está situado el castillo de Neuschwanstein? ¿Alemania, Austria, Suiza o Francia?
Ah, está situado.
Alemania.
Alemania.
La respuesta correcta es la opción A, Alemania.
Bien. Y fíjense, notice, with a feminine thing, it's está situada. It is situated. It is located. See? But with a masculine thing like castillo, that word situada changes to situado. See? Está situado. See? En Alemania. Bien? Sí. Ok. Y
What is it?
a ver. Ok. Algo.
Armenia.
We're gonna go forward just a bit because I want you to see another alternative to
La
estar.
respuesta correcta es la opción B, Jerusalén.
Este,
Las
situada.
cataratas del Niágara están
Here's another alternative to just está. Another alternative to está. Cataratas es waterfall.
Las cataratas del
Las
Niágara
cataratas del Niágara están ubicadas. Instead of están, which would be correct, or se encuentran, which would be correct, or están situadas, you might hear people using to talk about location this chunk, and it's a two-word chunk. Estar ubicado, to be located. And this word ubicado is used actually quite a lot, okay? Ubicado es located. And notice it's talking about cataratas. See? So because that's a feminine plural thing, we need to change that word ubicado to ubicadas. Las cataratas del Niágara están ubicadas en la frontera, on the border. En la frontera, ¿de qué países? Of which countries?
ubicadas en la frontera de qué países?
y Canadá.
Estados Unidos y Francia, Canadá y Rusia, México y Estados Unidos, o Canadá y Estados Unidos.
D.
La
Canadá.
respuesta correcta es la opción D, Canadá y Estados
Canadá y
Unidos.
Estados Unidos.
¿En
Sí.
qué país se encuentra Angkor Wat, el templo religioso más grande
Un
del
poquito
mundo?
más difícil. A little
¿Tailandia,
harder.
Camboya, Vietnam o Indonesia?
Camboya.
La respuesta correcta es la opción B,
Camboya.
¿En qué
Camboya.
país está situado el monumento Manneken Pis? ¿Bélgica, Francia, Países Bajos o Alemania? La respuesta correcta es la opción A, Bélgica.
Bélgica, sí. Bien. Okay, I'm going to stop it there. I'll send you that link. We're not playing the whole thing because it's 32 minutes. You know, if you want something for just fun to listen to them, ask each question, I'll give you that link so you can check it out again. But notice there are different words. You know, a lot of times we feel very confident. I know how to ask, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde está? Where is? And then you name the thing. Yeah. ¿Dónde está el baño? ¿Dónde está el monumento? ¿Dónde está el banco? ¿Dónde está el hospital? And you feel confident and great, and somebody comes back at you with the answer using not está, using something else like está situado, like está ubicado, like se encuentra, it is found at. So it's good to know that a native speaker may come back at you just to mix it up, yeah, with a different verb that is not the nice, familiar verb está. Bien? Ok. Vale. Bueno. A ver. Adelante, adelante. Para hoy, for today, I'm going to preview the questions you're going to be working on in smaller groups today. I'm going to preview what they are, and then we're going to show you a little video that talks about opinions. Opiniones, bien. So that you are listening for these phrases in the little video that's going to illustrate these phrases that talk about opinions. Bien? So you won't have to answer these now, but just know that this is the preview of the questions you'll be working with in smaller groups today, so that you get a chance to practice more as opposed to being in the bigger group. Okay. Y por ejemplo, ¿sí? ¿Qué te parece? ¿Qué te parece el tiempo de la primavera este año, this year? ¿Sí? ¿Cómo te parece el tiempo de la primavera este año? ¿Te parece? Literalmente, literally, is how does it seem to you? But this ¿qué te parece, even though it's correct to say how does it seem to you, we may in English use the phrase instead that is something more like, what do you think about? Yeah. ¿Qué te parece is asking you for your opinion. Okay. So if somebody asks you a question that starts off with the very common phrase, ¿qué te parece? How does it seem to you? It means they want to know feedback from you, your opinion on that topic that fills in after the word parece. ¿Qué te parece? What do you think about? What do you think of this? Okay. Even though it literally says, how does it seem to you? Okay. ¿Qué te parece calcular? ¿Qué te parece calcular los impuestos? What do you think about calculating your taxes, figuring out your taxes? Sí, calcular, sí. ¿Qué te parecen los partidos de entrenamiento de béisbol? What do you think about spring training games? Why do you think this one is te parecen instead of te parece?
Los partidos.
¿Por qué te parecen?
Los partidos. Partidos.
Los partidos, because I'm asking about what you think about baseball games for spring training. See? So because partidos is plural, that's why that one question there is not te parece, but te parecen. Okay? So, bueno, vale. Entonces, sí. ¿Qué te parece ir de compras para comprar ropa nueva? What do you think about going shopping for new clothes? Okay, it's asking you for an opinion. Notice we can use ¿qué te parece? To ask about an action, activity, ir de compras, shopping. Or we can use, or here, calcular, sí. Or we can use ¿qué te parece? To ask about a noun, a thing that's not an action. El tiempo, the weather. Yeah, see? So we can use it to talk about actions. We can use it to talk about stuff, things, people even. Okay. Y por fin, ¿qué te parecen los mariscos? ¿Qué te parecen los mariscos? And here again, it's te parecen. Te parecen because it's
Plural.
mariscos, plural. It's mariscos we're asking about. What do you think about seafood? Yeah. The people sometimes love it, sometimes hate it. Well, so we're going to have 4 questions that ask, ¿te parece? What do you think about? It's all, and all those que te parece are asking for your opinions, okay? And I also want you to notice quite often when people answer that question, they use a para mí in the answer to express what they think about. And the para mí literally means for me, but it'll combine like this. Para mí la lluvia es maravillosa. And in a way that para mí, even though literally it means for me, it's for saying, I think that it's one way. It's not the only way. It's one way to start off the idea of letting people know, this is what I think about it. Okay. Para mí la lluvia es maravillosa. Para mí esquiar es desagradable. And we can switch the order of the words a little bit and get across the same meaning. Para mí es desagradable esquiar. Okay? Either word order is correct. So you're going to do some exercises to practice that too. But first, you're going to do this set. Okay? So this is a little preview so that you know we're focusing on little phrases to talk about asking opinions and giving our opinions, and the ¿qué te parece? And the para mí. So we're going to show you an illustration how that sounds when you have a discussion. This is a very tongue-in-cheek. Oops, let me put that back in with my sound. Very tongue-in-cheek, not meant to be serious kind of example, okay?
Bueno, y ahora vamos a practicar un poco. Yo voy a decir algo y Marta y Doris van a dar su opinión
They're going to give their opinion. So you're going to hear how we ask about the opinion and how we respond with the opinion.
sobre esto que yo digo. Y yo también voy a dar mi opinión y tú también desde casa. Y puedes escribir en los comentarios. ¿Vale?
And she
¿Qué
does some.
te parece la ópera?
¿Qué te parece la ópera? How does opera seem to you? But in English, you're probably not going to say it that way. You're going to say, what do you think about? Or how do you feel about? Sí. ¿Qué te parece la ópera?
Para mí es aburrida.
And notice she talks about what she thinks, and she leads it off so that everybody knows it's my opinion with para mí. To me, it's boring. And in English, you'd probably say to me, it's boring. Para mí es aburrida.
Para mí también.
Me too. Yeah. When you agree with an affirmative statement, we use también to say to, T-O-O, okay? Para mí también, para mí también.
Para mí no. Para mí es maravillosa. A mí me encanta.
And the me encanta is, of course, I love it, right? I love it.
¿Qué te parece la comida mexicana?
¿Qué te parece? What do you think about? How do you feel about? ¿Qué te parece la comida mexicana?
Para mí es demasiado picante. Ay, para mí no. A mí me gusta. Para mí los burritos son deliciosos. Para mí las enchiladas son deliciosas.
Sí.
¿Qué te parece el brócoli?
What do you think about broccoli?
Para mí es rico. Para mí es feo.
Notice fail.
Sí.
I know. Boy, fail that feels strong. Yeah. Fail literally means ugly, right? But when people want to express that they have a negative feeling about something, that they dislike it, fail, even though literally it means ugly, is used quite a lot. Okay. Just, we say something is nasty, it's yucky, it's don't like it. Yeah. And a negative impression of that
Yeah.
thing is often expressed with that word fail, even though if you translate it as ugly, it sounds kind of strong.
Para mí es rico. Me gusta más que la coliflor. Ah, no. Para mí la coliflor es horrible. Ay, para mí es horrible. Y huele horrible.
It smells bad.
¿Y qué te parecen las naranjas? Para mí son deliciosas. Me encantan. Para mí también es mi fruta favorita. Me encantan. Para mí no. No me gustan ni las naranjas ni las mandarinas. Para mí ese olor característico que tienen es muy fuerte. Me molesta. Para mí ese olor es un perfume. Me encanta. Para mí también. ¿Qué te parece el fútbol? Uf, para mí aburrido. Ay, para mí también es súper aburrido.
Oh, and notice here is a superlative. We're taking not just aburrido, but super aburrido. And some people actually separate those out as two separate words. Super aburrido is making aburrido even
Super
worse.
boring.
Yeah, super boring.
Yeah. Sí.
El fútbol no me gusta nada. No.
No me gusta nada. The nada, I don't like nothing. Okay. In English, I don't like it at all. Not at all. Not at all is nada. It could also be expressed as para nada, but you get the idea. Not at all is the
Not
nada
at
part.
all.
Para mí el fútbol es pésimo.
Pésimo, another way of saying awful.
Well,
Ay, es mi móvil. Un momento.
And móvil, because she's in Spain, móvil is what they use for cell phone, but celular is what you're going to hear on this side of the pond. Yeah, celular. Okay.
Es Víctor.
that's Victor.
¿Sí? Hola, Víctor. No, estoy ocupada.
I'm not
Estoy
busy.
aquí en la clase de español.
I'm just here in Spanish.
Sí, estoy aquí con Cata y con
She can't remember her
con
name.
Cata. El sábado por la tarde, sí,
Saturday afternoon.
estoy libre.
I'm free.
¿Quieres ir al partido de fútbol?
You want to go to the
¿Conmigo?
soccer game? Me?
Ah, sí. Perfecto. Sí. A mí me gusta el fútbol. Sí, me encanta, sí. Para mí el fútbol es súper divertido, sí. Sí. Muy bien. Sí, entonces, el sábado por la tarde. Bueno, vale. Adiós. Sí, voy a ver el partido de fútbol con
I'm going to watch
Víctor.
the soccer game.
Pero
with
tú
Victor.
has dicho que el fútbol no te gusta.
But you said that you didn't like soccer.
¿Yo?
Me?
Que para ti es muy aburrido. ¿Yo? No, que es pésimo.
It's awful.
No me acuerdo.
I don't recall. Okay, bien. You got the idea. They tried to inject a little bit of humor there. So, vale, bueno. Adelante. We're going to start with our 5 are 5 questions that I would like you to practice with people in a little bit smaller group. Okay, bien. Y aquí, you're going to see the questions pop up, so you don't have to furiously write them down. The questions will pop up when you go into your breakout rooms. Okay. And let me set that up first. Ba, 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 ba. Vale, bien. Un momentito, I'm gonna mix this up just a little bit.
Where estás?
Uy, un momentito. Okay, you're gonna see a join button. So you will need to hit your join button, and shortly I'll be able to put those questions in for you. Bien, vale. Vale, muy bien. And I think we're going to give people about 5 minutos, 7 minutos. Maybe 7 minutes is a little bit more appropriate so that people can introduce themselves and work on that comfortably. Vale, perfecto. Ok, bien. Okay, and I've got a little prompt there so that people know that when you get a question with ¿qué te parece? Or ¿qué te parecen? It will be customary or very expected for somebody to come back with an answer that leads off with para mí. And the para mí tells the other person we're expressing an opinion. Bueno, nos quedan 4 minutos. We've got about 4 minutes left for people to chat. Y casi un minuto, just about 1 minute left. Okay, I'm going to send out a message that people will be coming back in about a minute. Ooh, okay. Yeah. And we'll close the rooms, but everybody always gets 1 full minute from the time the rooms start closing to when it actually pops you back into the big room. And some people come back in early, a little bit early. Hola, Karen. Y esperamos a
I don't know where the rest of my group is.
los demás. Yeah, we're just waiting on the rest to come back on in. Some people pop back in earlier. Some people take a little longer. That is just fine. Eso no importa. Ok. A ver. Un minuto más. Ah, aquí vienen más y más y más. Excelente, excelente. Aquí vienen los demás. I think here comes everybody. Aquí vienen todos los demás. Here comes everybody else. ¿Sí? Bien. Bueno, vale, vale. Quiero preguntarles. I want to ask you guys. Quiero preguntarles. Do you have any questions about asking and answering these? Did you have any great examples you want to share? Do you have any questions about something you didn't quite know how to express?
I
¿Alguna
just want to
pregunta?
know if anybody
Yeah.
likes doing taxes.
Ah, no.
And shopping.
Sí, eso también, sí. Well, you know, we have to give you some things that are negative things to talk about because that's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, sí.
Es una parte de la vida, ¿no? Sí, para mi esposo y para mi hijo, para ellos no, para ellos ir de compras para ropa es aburrido, es aburridísimo, ¿sí? Bien, y a nadie le gusta calcular los impuestos. Ni los contadores. I don't even think the accountants like calculating that. I can say that because my father-in-law is an accountant. Mi suegro es contador y para él no es interesante calcular los impuestos tampoco. It's not interesting to do that either. Okay, ¿alguna pregunta? Any question about these or no?
Yeah, we have a question about number 3.
Okay, vale.
So
dime.
if it says los partidos de entrenamiento de béisbol,
Entrenamiento.
since it's
Mhm.
plural, the answer do
Oh, how do we answer that if it's plural?
yeah.
Okay, so the reason I put the para mí in there is that you really don't need to use the me parece in the answer. But you know, it's good that you brought this up because let's take a look at that question number 3. There are a couple of ways people may phrase an answer to this. The easiest, shortest way to phrase the answer is to start off with para mí. ¿Qué te parecen los partidos de entrenamiento de béisbol? Para
Para
mí
mí.
son, para mí son muy divertidos.
Ah,
Para mí son muy divertidos. They are, because we're talking about partidos, games, more than one, ¿sí? Para mí son muy divertidos. Para mí son interesantes. Para mí son relajantes. They're relaxing. Para mí son emocionantes. They're exciting. Son emocionantes. Bien.
aburridos.
Aburridos. If you're not a fan, son aburridos. Bien. Okay. Vale. Pero. But also, so the reason we saw that little video on para mí is that is a very common way for people to give a short thing that signals somebody, I'm telling you my opinion. Okay. Not a fact, but an opinion. Not a fact. Para mí. Now, because te parecen is in the question, somebody could, as an alternative to mix up the way they express their ideas, they could come back with that same structure to answer that question. So an alternative answer might start with me parecen, they seem to me. And that would be okay too. All right. There's not just one right way to answer that kind of question. And people will mix up the kind of phrases they use to make things more interesting, to put something different into the mix, just like we do in English. We don't repeat the same idea over and over and over again, right? So they might say, me parecen divertidos. Me parecen relajantes. Okay, etc. They might use me parecen to answer. And why is it me parecen? Because in the question it's te parece, right? How does it seem to you? What do you think about? Even though this verb parecen does not mean what do you think, the que te parece is often in English, the way we express that in English is usually something like, what do you think about? Or how do you feel about? Okay, so even though that verb parecen does not mean think, yeah, this is just a frequent way to ask a question about your opinion. ¿Qué te parece for a singular thing, or ¿qué te parecen? What do you think, plural? So be aware, people may start with a para mí to signal their opinion. Okay. And if they're talking about somebody else's opinion, they'll name that person. Para mi esposo, para mi familia, para mi amigo, right? Or they might just pluck that te parecen in the question and flip it to me parecen in the answer. ¿Sí? Bien? Buena pregunta. Really good question you had there. Because people will mix up the way they respond to questions. Okay. Otra pregunta. Hay otra pregunta. Any other question before we branch out to something, well, a little extended practice? ¿Sí o no?
Well, you answered my question, so
Okay, vale, perfecto, perfecto. Yeah, always feel free to interrupt with questions. Interruptions are okay. If it's for me. Interrupting me is always okay. Okay, vale, bien. Okay, now, I want you to use this para mí to start off something that's going to talk about your opinion, okay? Tack on an infinitive that means a to do something verb, yeah. To hike, to play tennis, to swim, whatever the activity is, right? That's an infinitive, to, with an action, right? So tack on an infinitive or a noun, because you may be talking about a thing or you may be talking about an activity. An infinitive is to express an activity idea, and a noun expresses a thing idea, of course. So tack on an infinitive or noun to tell what makes you feel a certain way. Okay. And here is the way you feel. Something is marvelous, or something is disagreeable or not fun. Yeah. Desagradable means disagreeable, but displeasing would be another way, yeah, of saying that. So you're going to inject something in here where the ... is, right? Here I injected la lluvia, the rain. Not it's raining, but the rain, the thing, the noun that is rain. Para mí la lluvia es maravillosa. Literally, for me, rain is marvelous, but you'd probably say in English, I think rain is great. Yeah, okay. Even though that para mí doesn't mean I think, it's telling somebody what you think, how you feel. See? Para mí, esquiar es agradable. We injected this activity now, not a noun like la lluvia, but an activity, esquiar, skiing, yeah, into where the ... would be. Para mí, esquiar es agradable. And notice, instead of leading off with para mí esquiar, you can lead off with Para mí es desagradable. Right? You can switch the order of the esquiar and the es desagradable. You can switch the order and it means the same thing. Okay. Sometimes we can flip the order of some of those word groups and it's okay to do that. Either word order is okay. Bien. So you're going to inject something or an activity, right? If it's an activity, it has to be an infinitive like esquiar, right? Or jugar al tenis, playing tennis, or lo que sea, whatever it might be. So where you see a ... you're going to have to express either an activity or a thing, an actual object, or maybe a person, I don't know. But we're going to talk about what makes us feel, why we feel that, what makes us feel relaxed, relajante. What makes us feel stressed out, estresante. What you think is just great, fenomenal. We have lots of
Where are your cough drops,
lots
kid?
of
Where are your
adjectives
cough drops?
that mean great or super or lots of things we can plug in there. Fenomenal, right? It sounds like phenomenal and it carries that idea, like not just good, but better than good, right? Fenomenal. No es interesante or es muy difícil. Something is difficult. Let's do the first one all together so you get an idea. See? Para mí, pum, 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 es relajante. What
Para
might
mí
you? We're going to do.
es
Leer.
Sí, Miguel.
para mí es la lluvia es relajante.
Relajante.
Para mí escuchar es desagradable.
El invierno.
Para mí la lluvia es
La lluvia.
relajante.
Ok. Para mí, la lluvia es relajante. ¿Sí?
Para mí la lluvia
¿Sí?
es relajante.
Bien, sí. Relajante, relajante. Yeah, that we get a long word like relajante, divided
Relajante.
into shorter syllables, right? Relajante, relajante, relajante. Para mí la lluvia es relajante. Otra cosa, any other thing that is relaxing?
Leer.
Perfecto. Let's make a longer idea with that, Julie.
Para
Leer,
mí-
reading.
Para mí leer es relajante.
Excelente. Para mí, leer es relajante. And Julie, if you wanted to, you could invert the order of those two phrases and say, para mí es relajante leer.
Okay.
And that would be also okay. Bien? Okay. Otra idea.
Para mí, yoga es relajante.
Para mí. Para mí, la yoga es relajante. Sí, muy popular. Sí, la yoga es muy popular. Bien, fantástico. Otra idea. Okay, bien. You get the idea. I wanted to do that first one all together so that you get the idea of what you're going to be doing in some smaller groups with the rest of that. And remember, the word order could be switched here. So you could also say, para mí, well, no, if that one, That's going to be pretty much the same. Sí, es relajante practicar. Oh, here's another way you could express it though, because you hear this quite often. I know why this is sticking in my mind. Because people say this about a lot. Para mí, es relajante practicar la yoga. Practicar la yoga también, ¿sí? That's another way of talking about doing yoga. Doing yoga. Hacer la yoga, ¿sí? Hacer la yoga, practicar la yoga, lo que sea. ¿Bien? ¿Vale? ¿Bien? Okay, vale. So you've got four
Now,
more. Sí, sí, sí.
What is that?
Estresante in the next one, is that stressful?
Stressful, sí. Estresante, stressful,
Yes.
stressing, ¿sí? Fenomenal, like super great, right? Interesante es obvio, sí. Difícil es obvio, sí. Interesting and difficult, ¿sí? Bien. Vale. You will see those in this little breakout room when you join breakout room. I think for this, because we've only got really 4 more to do, I'm only going to give you maybe about 5 minutes because this is kind of a shorter one here. So, a ver. Bien. Okay, you should see a little join button and I will send these little fillers out to you. Bien. Perfecto. Oh, let's reset my timer. I'm just going to give 5 minutes for this. 5 minutos. Es una práctica más corta. It's a shorter practice. And yes, that makes sure because we had one person who had to leave early. I have to make sure I've got at least 2 people in each group. Sí, así es. Vale. Bueno. A ver. Ooh, fix my light a little better. But hoy no, not yet today. Oh, sí. Oh, yes, I can. Uy, I'm just going to be shiny today. Can't get my lighting adjusted quite right. So I got too much stuff in my house. A ver, bueno, nos queda un poquito más de un minuto. We've got just about a little more than a minute left. We'll send people out a message that they have a minute left. Bien. Vale. Bueno. Okay. We'll give people their 60 seconds to come back on in. Vale, bueno. Momentito. A ver, we're going to take that off. Bien. Excelente. Muy bien, todos están. Everybody is here. Bueno, ¿hay alguna pregunta? Is there any question about these? ¿O hay un ejemplo magnífico? Is there some great example of something you want to share with the group?
I'm interested in knowing why on number 4, the no is capitalized.
Oh, because the word processor did that. There's a very non-profound answer to that question. After a period, the word processor says, I must capitalize the next letter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you have, okay.
Sí, Lan.
If you want to say
No es nada profundo. It's nothing profound. Sadly, it's nothing profound. Okay. Bien. Bueno. Entonces, sí. Hay algo que quieren compartir. Any examples from this that you want to share with everybody or ask me about? ¿Sí o no? ¿No?
Yes.
Okay, bien. I am going to send you to use as our opener next week, a little assignment. I'm going to send you a little exercise that will look just like what we did today, but with different ideas, different topics. Okay. So I will want you to come back, and as the opening activity for next week, I want you to talk about your opinions on other things. Okay. You won't get the same topics, but some of them, like this, will be kind of fill in the blank. Some of them will be like the top with a question, and they will ask you, actually, I think I'm going to have you ask some questions of each other to insert an idea. Yeah, see? If you need, for those of you who are brand new, if you need a some help dictionary wise, I am going to suggest this website, which is called wordreference.com. So if you need to have actually, this is a fabulous dictionary. Es un diccionario en línea. It's an online dictionary, and it gives you examples of how to use words, okay? In context, it gives you an example, because sometimes a word may have more than one definition. So you need to see how it is used in the context of an actual sentence. to make sense. So I will suggest that, and I will put the link for that so that you don't have to scribble things down furiously as you're looking here on the screen. So you will be asking each other some questions and doing some little fill in the blanks like that exercise that we did just now. Bien, vale. Bueno, entonces, then where we're going to start off with next is, I kind of thought we might start our spring session with a couple of little lessons about especially location words, but this little video we're going to watch together actually talks about more than location words. Location words are prepositions. And so this little video is also going to be like a listen to it again exercise as kind of a homework. So after class, I send you an email after every class, and it will give you the recording location to watch this again if you wanted to, or if you were missed class. We had some people who missed class today. They'll be able to watch what we did during class. And also in the email, you'll get this video. I want you to kind of look at the vocabulary for this video, especially a focus on these location words, okay? Because this video is formally on opposite ideas, which is always helpful. But the location opposites are what we're going to focus on a little bit more. And we'll do some practice with those vocabulary words on locations with prepositions. But let's kind of watch this together so you have an idea. This particular video has both the Spanish and the English. And keep in mind, if you listen to it again, which I would recommend, because you're going to see these words again next week, keep in mind that you can always hit the pause button if it's going too fast and you need time to like read the English translation below. You can always hit the pause button and do that as well. Bien, perfecto. We need to get that on the screen.
Excuse me, Marilyn.
Sí.
Is there a book that we can get?
There is a book you can use, but you don't have to have it. And I will send you the link for that book, then. Is called, tengo una copia aquí. I don't have the copy with me right here next to me, porque mi casa es un desastre. My house is a disaster, but it's called Step by Step Easy Spanish, I think. I'll send you the link so that you can see what that looks like. Some people like to get it because they want like a reference to look at, and that's fine. I'll send you the link for that in the email, along with all these other links. ¿Sí? Bien. Okay. Pueden ver la chica con el pelo azul. Can you see the girl with the blue wig?
Yes.
Sí, vale,
Sí.
bueno. Okay, pay attention to some of these location words in the first bit in particular, but we'll kind of have other opposites that don't really necessarily talk about location.
Dime si está torcido.
Torcido, crooked. And now you're going to get location words that talk about left, right, up, down, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and those are the words I really want you to focus on.
Un poco más arriba. Más abajo. Ahora a la izquierda. No, menos. Un poquito a la derecha.
Have you ever done that with whoever you live with? So, yeah. No,
Sí.
up a little more, down a little more. Oh, all those location words. And we're going to practice those again next week. So listen to this again. It's part of your homework, but we'll let this roll now.
Es tu culpa.
Your fault.
Opposites are nowhere near as dramatic as that scene. They are quite useful and necessary though. And studying opposites is one of the easiest ways to study and remember vocabulary. Alice and Maura from Spring Spanish. Let's now go over 12 opposite couples that come up in Spanish all the time. Empecemos. Número 1. Opposites about space.
And this is what these words are prepositions. They talk about where things are located spatially. Yeah, spatially. And so out of this whole video, although we'll play the whole thing, I want you to really focus for next week, this spatial bit. Yeah. Because I'll have some picture prompts and we'll use these next week. But this is just your intro. Okay. Vale.
No lo encuentro. ¿Está adentro o afuera?
Adentro, afuera. Inside or outside. Adentro, afuera. Okay.
No,
Está adentro.
Está adentro.
Estar en
Está, and there's our location word, está,
adentro.
again. But notice when somebody says está adentro, they're not going to separate those two words. That está is that a sound at the end of está is going to connect and slide right into the next word so that it all sounds like one word. Está adentro.
Estar adentro.
Exacto, está adentro. Está adentro.
Adentro.
Con razón, lo estaba buscando afuera. Si no lo ves por encima, debe estar debajo de.
Ah, por encima, on top of. Yeah, on top, por encima, debajo, debajo, underneath, underneath, encima,
Encima,
debajo,
debajo.
encima, debajo. Bien?
Encima, debajo.
So here are the words I want you to focus on during the week, kind of study them. If you need to make flashcards, great. We're going to use some photo prompts for you to practice these words in particular about locations next week. Bien?
De algo. Así que levanta las cosas.
So lift things up. Así que levanta las cosas. Lift things up. So that's telling the person, hey, look around, move stuff around. You ever have that with the people in your house? They can't find something in the fridge and that person can never move something in the fridge. See? Por encima, on top. Debajo. Debajo, underneath.
Levanta.
¿Del lado izquierdo o derecho?
Left or right. Del lado izquierdo o derecho? Left side or right side?
Lado izquierdo o
See?
derecho.
So let's look at that. Lado just means side. Okay. But
Lado.
that izquierdo word tells you a direction, left.
Izquierdo.
Okay.
Direction.
And that is a hard word for people to pronounce. So I want everybody to practice the word
Lado.
izquierdo.
Izquierdo.
Izquierdo. See? Izquierdo. All right. Derecho. Right.
Derecho.
Now, I want you to notice something about these
Izquierdo.
two words.
Derecho.
Izquierdo or derecho. If we are talking about movement, right? Here she's talking about where something is set down. Yeah, where it's placed. But if we use left and right to talk about movement, and you do this a lot when you ask directions, and people will tell you, oh, this will be on your left-hand side, or turn right. Those two words, izquierdo and derecho, will change slightly in form to, instead of an o on the end, an a on the end. So to the left, meaning movement, yeah, will be a la izquierda, to the left. To the right will be a la derecha.
Lado izquierdo.
A la izquierda, to the left.
Izquierdo o derecho.
A la derecha.
A la derecha.
So notice those words are going to change, but very, very slightly, to a la izquierda, or a la derecha, at the end, yeah? So you may hear those words with an O on the end or an A on the end. The a la derecha is telling you movement to the right. The a la izquierda means to the left. See, bien? So that's why when we practice these next week, we're going to have some photo prompts so you can like position things in your mind. Okay? Vale, siguiente.
Dios, voy.
Boy, and fíjense, notice something.
Yes, boy.
When you tell somebody I'm coming, you actually need to use the word I'm going. I know. But okay, I cannot tell you why. It's just the way it is. Yeah?
Boy.
When somebody says, boy, it means I'm coming. Like, you know, you knock on the door and you yell at the person, boy, ya, boy. Often with ya in front of it. Ya, boy, I'm coming already. Okay, Dios voy.
We all know someone that doesn't know how to look for things. And if you don't, maybe you are that someone. Our opening dialogue and this one are filled with space or location opposites. Let's check them out with more examples. Arriba y abajo. La casa tiene 2 pisos. Arriba hay 2 habitaciones y abajo hay una de visita.
Notice arriba is not the same thing as encima. Encima means on top of, but arriba means above. Yeah, above. Okay. Abajo, right? Down. She uses these for the upstairs and downstairs ideas. Arriba y abajo. Okay, vale.
Arriba, I do.
Los de arriba y los de abajo. Do you know this older British TV show called Upstairs, Downstairs? I don't, but my mom does. And that's how I know that Los de Arriba y Los de Abajo was the name it was given in Latin America. Encima y debajo. Dejé las bolsas debajo de la mesa porque habían muchas cosas encima.
So encima is when things are on top of, like a cabinet, a desk, a table, the seat of your chair. Yeah, that's encima. Yeah, encima. Por ejemplo, sí. Momentito, tengo que ajustar. Encima de mi silla, ¿sí? Esto está encima de la silla. That's on top of my chair. ¿Sí? Un cojín. Un cojín. Este cojín, this cushion, está encima de la silla. Está encima de la silla. ¿Sí? ¿Bien? Vale. Bueno. I would not use arriba. Arriba is like, yeah. Arriba, I would not use with what's on top of my chair. It would be encima. ¿Sí? Encima de mi silla. Ok, vale.
La torta estaba increíble. Encima tenía una capa de chocolate blanco y debajo una capa de frutos secos.
Oh, and again, so it's on top of and underneath. On top of and underneath. Yeah, see? See? Encima tenía una capa de chocolate blanco. On top it had, you know, a little white chocolate, like icing, topping it off, see? Y debajo, una capa de frutos secos. And underneath, it had a layer of, nuts, okay? Frutos secos, dry fruits, nuts. You may hear nueces, maybe, yeah. Capa is just a layer, yeah? ¿Sí? Bien? Ok, continuamos.
Adentro y afuera.
Inside and outside. Inside and outside. Adentro, afuera.
Adentro hace mucho menos calor que afuera.
See, it is much cooler outside. It is much cooler inside than outside. See, adentro hace menos calor, less heat. Yeah, que afuera. Que afuera. Outside, afuera, outside.
El carro puede quedarse adentro o afuera, da igual.
The car can stay inside or outside. It doesn't matter. See? Adentro, afuera. Adentro, afuera. So you can now get position ideas in your head. That's why I want you to revisit this part of this video in particular during the week, so that when we quiz you on some spatial ideas with pictures next week, you can come up with the right vocabulary word, right? Okay. Adentro, afuera.
Derecha e izquierda. Si eres ambidiestro, puedes escribir con la mano derecha y la izquierda por igual.
Bien, see, right and left. See, derecha, izquierda. Yeah. And this one is essential when people give you directions in particular, but right now we're using these with left and right. Okay. Derecha is the right, izquierda is the left word, izquierda. And izquierda looks like it's hard to pronounce. It looks awfully long, but if you take it apart, it's not so bad. The IZ part is is, like an IS sound, is, right? And quier, like quiero, I want, quier, but just that part of it, da, izquierda, izquierda, okay? Izquierda, there you go, izquierda, izquierda, bien.
Dividir la política entre derecha e izquierda es demasiado simplista.
Wow, a ver, we can even use it for right and left, that political idea, dividir la política entre derecha, the right, e izquierda, and the left. See? So even without the location idea, yeah, it still is used for that left and right idea in that kind of more very abstract sense.
Junk alert. Do you know what we use encima for in Spanish? Every time you hear a sentence start with encima, you can be sure that's a complaint. For example, encima va y me dice que yo soy la que no entiende.
On top of that is just that word encima.
Y me dice.
On top of that, she goes and tells me that I'm the one who doesn't understand. Encima, va y me dice que yo soy la que no entiende.
No entiende.
So this is just something, again, that is like the way somebody opens up to say, well, on top of all of that, bien, attitude, actitud.
Encima tengo que lavarme el cabello y limpiar la casa.
On top of all that, meaning, you know, I've got all this other stuff, and now I've got this stuff too. Encima tengo que lavarme el cabello. I gotta wash my hair y limpiar la casa. Okay.
Check out that link in the description for more native sounding chunks in Spanish. Número 2. Opposites about descriptive adjectives.
And you're going to hear a couple things
Es que
we
no
use today.
sé si me gusta de verdad. Es muy simpático, eso sí.
He's nice.
Es que
Simpático,
si
¿no?
fuera antipático no tendría sentido. Que te parezca simpático es lo mínimo. Tienes razón, pero es que no es fácil saber si alguien te gusta en serio. Al menos para mí es muy difícil entender eso tan rápido. Bueno, pero hay cosas básicas. Tiene que resultarte muy interesante. Al principio de la relación no puedes encontrarle aburrido. Si es así, mejor cortarlo de una vez. Diste en el clavo, porque sí me parece simpático y lindo. O sea,
Oh, notice she had a me parece in there. Ah, sí me parece simpático. I do think he's nice and cute y lindo. Sí, sí me parece. Yeah, I do think that. The sí part, instead of meaning yes, even though it does mean yes, is like us saying in English, I do. Sí me parece, I do think. And she's telling her opinion. Sí me parece simpático y lindo.
sí me parece simpático y lindo. O sea, no me parece un tipo feo para nada.
Ah, and here comes the fail. Ugly. No me parece, I don't think. No me parece, I don't think. Yeah. Instead of me parece, I do think, it's no me parece, I don't think. Yeah. Me parece is used to express your opinion or negative opinion. Don't think, right?
Pero no
Depende.
sé si me resulta tan interesante. Ay, no, Carla, córtalo ya. ¿Cómo vas a forzar salir con un tipo que no te parece interesante? We'll do a
And so they gave you context examples. Now she's
speed
going
round
to
to
break it
review all
down.
of these opposites right at the end. So stick till the end to play with me. Now let's check out the opposites on that dialogue. Simpático y antipático. Todo el mundo es simpático y antipático dependiendo de las circunstancias. Ser simpático no es tan importante como no ser antipático.
And these opposites, you can get the idea because simpático is nice, friendly. Simpático is a warmer feeling than just the word nice, which is kind of a boring word in English, yeah? But antipático, you know, is the opposite. It's got anti in front of it, yeah? So the anti tells you it's an opposite of that simpático idea. Antipático, not so nice. Ugh. Don't like the person. Antipático. Okay.
Interesante y aburrido.
And interesante, nice cognate, sounds like English. It means interesting. Interesante, aburrido, boring.
El principio de la
Sí.
serie es interesante, pero luego se torna súper aburrida. La gente interesante no se aburre. I don't know how real this is, but I do know that interesting people do know how to make boring things interesting. Difícil y fácil. Ni lo bueno es fácil,
easy.
ni lo difícil es malo. For some reason, some of these opposite examples are coming out like sermons. ¿Cuál era tu materia fácil y tu materia difícil en el colegio?
Ah, ¿cuál era tu materia fácil? Materia looks like material. And what it really means is a school class. Yeah, a subject. Yeah, as they call it there, a subject. Materia fácil, easy subject. See, materia difícil, a hard or difficult subject.
Excuse me, Marilyn.
Sí.
What is
It's
that
all
funny symbol in front of QL? QL. The very first symbol on the
Oh,
second.
¿cuál?
What's that funny thing in front of it?
The upside down question mark?
Yeah.
That is what they do with exclamation marks and question marks. In written Spanish, and of course, when you speak, you don't see that. Yeah, right? But in written Spanish, exclamation marks have an upside down exclamation mark leading off the sentence and the regular exclamation mark like we do at the end. And the same happens with questions. You get an upside down question mark to start off the question and the regular question mark you're used to like seeing in English at the end. And by the way, question marks, you may see question marks buried in the middle of a sentence in written Spanish. Es normal, that is normal. If the question actually starts in the middle of the sentence, you'll see the question mark wherever that sentence begins. Un ejemplo, I'll give you an example. Un ejemplo, momentito. I'll give you this as an example. Usually we think of a question as, well, it's the whole sentence. Yeah, it's the whole thing. But sometimes in Spanish, don't be surprised if you see something like this. Para ti, ¿cuál es el deporte más interesante de todos? What do you think is the para ti, yeah? Para ti, ¿cuál es el deporte más interesante de todos? But the para ti is really not part of the question. Here is where the real question starts. So because it starts here, we have a little question mark, which actually gets injected right into the middle of the sentence. And this is a normal thing for Spanish. It's just what they do. It's just what they do. In writing, you speak, ni idea. You'll have no clue that exists. You only see it when it's written. Bien? Vale?
Thank you.
De nada. Okay, I'm going to let her finish this little blip, and then we're going to just tie up our loose ends and finish class.
Marilyn,
So those are words people may use instead of lindo.
Marilyn, you're not displaying her video.
Perdón. Oh, perdón. Ay, 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 ay. Gracias. Perdón, perdón, perdón. Vale, bien. Let me back that up a little bit. And now we got lindo y feo. Gracias, Marcos. Perdón. Los pugs son tan feos que son lindos. They're so ugly, they're cute. Yeah. But feos is used in a lot more situations in Spanish than it is in English. Bien.
Que son lindos. Keep in mind that both lindo and feo have a ton of synonyms. Lindo could be bonito, bello, precioso.
So instead of using lindo, there are other words that mean the same idea, but they might be used instead, or to just mix up the variety of the words so you don't keep repeating the same word over and over again. So bonito, bello, precioso. Precioso also can mean very cute. Precioso, sí.
And feo could be horroroso, horrible, desagradable.
So feo could be any of those other things, but feo is used a lot. Okay, so I know that in English, feo has a very ugly, has a very strong connotation, but feo is used for any kind of situation that people find grates on them, that they don't like it. Yeah, feo is a super common word. We're going to let her finish up.
Lindo y feo deberían ser conceptos personales. Número 3.
Okay, vale. I'll let you finish that little section with opposites. See, bien? And we're going to take some of these opposite words and we're going to use them in some, especially those situational location kind of settings. We're going to do some impromptu. So do know afuera, adentro, arriba, abajo, encima, debajo. Yeah, be familiar with those words so that we can practice using some impromptu, prompts. Yeah, see, bien. I'm also going to send you a little short video that has nothing to do with grammar per se. It's just for you to listen and enjoy for listening comprehension. The video I'm going to send you is about all the stuff that somebody needs to record her video for YouTube. All the steps that she takes for recording. And I just want you to listen to get the big picture idea. So you may need to listen to the video with subtitles, without the subtitles. I am going to show you just very briefly how you turn on subtitles. Some people, yeah, most of you probably totally know this, but some of you may not be aware of how that works with YouTube. This little CC button way down, see, a la derecha on the right. See, abajo, abajo, underneath, abajo, a la derecha on the right.
Okay.
That little CC button you're going to hit. You may also need to hit the settings button and to tell it subtitles and to tell it Spanish. You may need to do that. Bien, okay. I would like you to try the new video I'm going to send you for just storytelling without subtitles first, but don't be surprised if you need to do to listen 2 or maybe even 3 times to the storytelling video. All right. But the first time you should get the general idea, but there may be holes like Swiss cheese. Yeah. And the second time you listen, you try to fill in a couple of the holes. Yeah. And maybe the third time you try to fill in as many holes as you can. And then when you come into class, if there's something that totally puzzles you, then you come in and say, hey, I got everything except for what did she mean by this sentence or this phrase or whatever, you know, make a little note and we can pull that out. ¿Sí? Bien?
Bien.
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 Fantástico.
Muy bueno.
Muchísimas gracias. Muchísimas gracias. See, you'll get your end of class email sometime early this afternoon before I paint and get my hands full of icky stuff. And it will list the recording of this YouTube, all the links to all the videos we used, and any links to prompts that I want you to use for next week. Sí, todo bien.
And the book, right?
And gracias. Sí. Voy a escribir un apunto.
Thank you.
El libro de texto, the textbook, if you so desire to have a reference. Please also consider if there is a particular topic that you want me to do this spring for sure. Just send me a quick little email saying, oh, by the way, I would like to cover commands. I would like to cover vocabulary about kitchen or, you know, something. Yeah. Whatever that is, that topic is, whether it's vocabulary related or grammar related, always feel free to send me a little note if there's something special you want to work on this spring, and we will work that in. ¿Todo bien? All good?
Está bien.
Fantástico.
Thank you.
Muchísimas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Sí, y espero
Muchas
que tengan
gracias.
muy buena semana. I hope you have a really good week. Sí, y
you.
gracias por participar. Thank you for participating. Sí, y
Okay.
nos
Sí.
vemos la semana que
Sí,
viene. We'll
okay.
see you guys next week.
Ciao.
bien.
Mm.
Hasta
Chao,
luego.
sí, chao,
Adiós.
claro, sí, cuídense. Take care.